This conference will now be recorded.
Hello?
Yeah, please give me 5 minutes more. I'll join.
No problem.
Am I audible now?
Yes, Virendra, for me you are audible.
Okay.
Yes.
Who else? How many have we joined? Two only. Sorry, who has joined?
Um, Myself, Sham.
Okay. Hello.
Rahul here.
Naresh here.
Okay, so 3% have joined. Okay, okay. 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 So today, I hope any question based on the last class what we discussed.
Yeah, Viren, one thing I would like to know is like, can you please brief on the terminologies which would be used in the TM? One,
Sorry.
the terminologies which we frequently see while practicing TM or while we go through a subject of TM.
Yes. That I will tell you. Don't worry. Because last time what I told you is it's about a generic thing. Okay. So now we are going deep details into topic by topic. So every word I will explain. Don't worry about it. Okay.
Okay, okay, sure. Yeah.
So today we'll try to complete the organizational structure. 1 minute. Someone has changed my password. Maybe 1 minute. 1 minute. 1 minute. Someone has edited my password. Maybe. Yes. Okay, so by the time Naveen updates the password. So the thing is that today we will study mainly the organizational structure. So so I hope all of you are aware of standard ECC SDMM organizational structure, right?
Yes.
Naren?
Yeah. Okay. So just to means visualize, like you understood what I said in the last class. Can you suggest, like for a shipper, what type of organizational structure is required? Whether it's exactly we need for MM, whether we need exactly for SD. What do you feel?
SD?
Yeah, likewise for SD. I mean, the shipping point should have been the link. I mean,
Yes.
Shipping point, loading point,
yeah,
loading.
route determination and so on.
Okay, route, no, actually, okay, route determination is not a organizational structure, but yeah, you are into it. See, basically, uh, so when you are a shipper, as I told you, our main business is not transportation, but we use transportation module to basically track and trace and control the movement of vehicle in and out, right? That is what we do in shipper scenario. So, in organizational structure perspective, we divided into three different parts. One from sales perspective, one from purchasing perspective, and one from planning perspective. Okay. So from sales perspective, in TM, we actually need to only set up these three things: sales office, sales group, and sales organization. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
When you are into the purchasing, for purchasing purpose, we need only purchase organization and purchasing group. And when you are into the planning, we are into planning organization and planning group. Some theoretical knowledge is required in this before I show you in the system. The reason is you should know for which scenario you need what type of enterprise structure. See, the thing is that when you are a shipper, you are actually basically informing the freight forwarder or some carrier to come and pick up the goods so that the transportation process can be done, right? So in that case, you are not actually selling any transportation service, right? When you are talking about sales, sales means you need to sell something, right? We are not selling, as a shipper, I'm not selling anything, right? Or rather, I'm procuring the services of a carrier so that the transportation can be done. So always remember, whenever you're working on a shipper scenario, the sales organizational unit is not required. Only for shipper, we require only a purchasing because you are procuring the service. So later on, you need to pay to the carrier. So when the payment to the carrier comes, in that case, purchase organization and purchasing group is required, or else it's not required. Okay. And planning is not a mandatory thing, but you should create it because maybe, you know, if you are planning across for multimodal transport where it is moving from one country to another, and each country want to have a separate set of users who will be performing the plan. Correct. So in that case, the planning organization and planning group are the entities who are responsible for that. But this, if you don't create any planning organizational unit, it is not going to stop any of your TM process. Okay, that is one thing. When you come into purchasing, if you don't create purchase org and purchasing group, the settlement process will not be done. Okay. And coming to the sales, then you may ask me where we use this. We only use this if you are acting as an LSP. LSP means, if you recollect, I told you last class, LSP are those people whose main provision or profession is selling the transportation service, right? Like for example, FedEx, UPX, okay, UPS, then DHL, they all sell their transportation service, correct? So for the freight forwarding industry, where we don't need any ECC, for a freight forwarding industry only, we need the sales organizational unit. Apart from that, we don't need the sales organizational unit for a shipper. But remaining these two organizational units are required even in the LSP scenario. So in LSP, you need all, but in shipper, you only need these two. Okay.
Okay.
Any question?
Yeah, one thing, Viren, while practicing, so do we need to create a basic organization structure of SD or MM? And
Yes.
we need to carry the basic operation of order delivery and invoice, and then we will have
Invoice
to
is not required.
so
You
that's
just
it.
need one sales order. You just need one sales order in
Okay,
order to trigger the transportation process. That's it.
okay, okay. Yep.
Okay.
And
So
Kiran, I have a question. Sorry to interrupt you. Um, so in case of a shipper scenario, so they always go to a freight forwarder or a carrier, or they might be having their own transportation as well.
yes, if they have their own transportation, in that case, you don't need to pay any charges to them, right? But
Right.
maybe what happens, you know, in some big industries, even though it is in one fleet, okay. For example, Tata has their own fleet, but sometimes if they don't have the transportation, if they don't have the transportation for Tata, for one group, they can get the fleet from Tata Group or Tata other groups, right? In that case, maybe they need to pay for that as well.
Right.
Okay.
So in that case, we won't be having that settlement part. Rest all should be the same.
Yes.
Okay.
So it actually depends. Means in case you feel that they need to be paid off, they need to be settled off, that's okay. Orders generally in internal fleet is not required.
Okay. Got it. Thanks.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that is one part what I thought of telling you this. Okay. So the next part what you need to keep in mind here is that whenever we are creating the organizational structure, okay, so this also needs to be aligned with the organizational unit which is there in ECC, okay, because see it's the same system, right? But maybe you have created 10 different organization, purchase organization, for example, for procurement perspective, to create your purchase order and all, but TA may only require one because they feel that okay, I require only one centralized purchase organization which can cater to my transportation service. Remaining all I don't want to do it. So there you need to actually assign. We need to link one purchase organizational org unit to the ECC org unit, so that system knows, okay, if this is the TM purchase org, that means basically it is relating to the ECC organizational unit in that. Again, it is not going to stop any of your subsequent process, but better that you link that. Okay, when I'll show you, you'll see that.
Yeah, but Virendra, that is applicable when the TM and your S4 HANA is in separate instances, right? When it is embedded, it is the question does not arise, right?
No, means obviously if it is isolated, you require it. Even it is embedded, as I told you. For example, we'll have one organizational unit, for example, 5-star 24, for example. So just to make the system understand that this 5-star 24 is linked to 001 purchase organization or my ECC, because later on what happens when we do a settlement, in the settlement actually system automatically creates a service PO. So
Right.
when it creates a service PO, you know that purchase organization purchasing group is mandatory. So that will make the transportation planner and the invoicing guy know, okay, this purchase organization which I used for TM is actually related to the creation of service PO for this organization. So that understanding should be there. Okay, that's the reason why they require it. Okay.
So even in so even in embedded version also we cannot use directly the ECC organization structure. We still need to create TM organization structure and link them.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the transaction code, what we use is PPOCE. This is an HR. I don't know if anyone worked on HR. So PPOCE is the transaction code to create the organizational unit, and PPOME is the transaction code to change anything in the organizational unit. Okay. So this can be done either through standalone, means by navigating to the easy access, or you can also do it through configuration. Okay. So the transaction code is as per based on HR. So these transaction codes are basically used by the HR team to basically create your specific organizational units. Okay. So means that does not mean you need to know HR. I will explain you what are the mandatory fields which is required. There are very few fields which you need to keep in mind while you are creating the organizational structure. Okay. Just 1 minute. Naveen is just resetting it. Just 1 minute. Any other question? Why we need sales? Why we don't need sales? Why we need purchasing? Why we need planning? I think it is okay, right?
Yeah, we have just one question. So why HR would be creating this organizational structure?
No, HR will not be creating the organizational structure. It will be created by TM, but the transaction codes which are used refers to the HR organizational unit. Because the way, see, TM is a web UI product, and the web UI product generally use the standard HR organizational unit content to create such type of organizational structure. So that is the SAP's way of designing. Because actually we have mainly two ways: either you go to specific SPRO and do it, or we do it through these transaction codes. So SAP's way of going forward is to use this transaction code to create your organizational unit. Okay.
Okay.
Just 1 minute. Yeah.
Once, can you please once again put the importance of sales, purchase, and plan?
So sales means if you are selling something, right? As a shipper, when I am creating my transportation, I am not selling anything. Rather, I am procuring the service of a carrier. Okay. So because you're procuring the service of a carrier, you need to pay to the carrier once the transportation is done. So if you want to pay to the carrier, what we require a service purchase order and we require a service entry sheet, right? That is the normal three-way match in ECC, correct? But the service PO and service entry sheet is created from my TM document. I'll show you how it is linked. So once my TM create order, that means my shipment document is created in TM. And then if I post the shipment document, automatically my service PO and service entry sheet gets created. So the pure service entity sheet will capture the P org and the P group value. And also, when you need to pay to the carrier, you need to create an agreement. And during the creation of an agreement, purchase organization and the carrier is a mandatory field. So that's the reason why the usage of purchase organization is twofold. One during settlements and second during the charge calculation.
Okay.
Planning means these are the people who are responsible for doing the planning in their for a specific shipping point or for a specific zone, for a specific location. So you need some organizational unit to do some specific planning, because planning is an important element of your TM process. If you recollect, there are 4 components of TM, right? One is your order management, planning, execution, settlement. These are the 4 elements. So planning, for that, if you want that a specific planner needs to be identified for doing a planning, then in that case you need a planning organizational unit and planning and a planning group. However, this is not mandatory. If you don't use this, it will not stop your any of your process. Okay. And the sales part is mainly used only for LSP or freight forwarder, because freight forwarder, they sell their transportation service, right? Like for example, if you want to transport any goods, you call FedEx. FedEx will come and pick up the goods. Their customer service will create an order. That means they are selling the service and you are buying the service for them. So if you are implementing TM for a LSP, that means for FedEx or UPS, for them it's a selling service. So that means you need a sales of. Clear?
Yep.
Okay, let me create this. Okay, so I go to PPOCE, that is the transaction code to create your organizational unit. See, as I told you, because this is also used by HR, we'll only deal with those data fields which is required by TM, because we don't want any intervention from HR here. Okay, so it will first of all ask for the validity period. That means for how many days you want this organizational unit to be valid. So this validity period comes here. So first, now I want to create one. Suppose I want to create a purchase organization. So I just give a name, that is DE term purchase organization. Please note this nomenclature what I'm using is actually not used in the TM document. I'll tell you which number is actually visible in the TM document. I'll tell you just now. You give a description of the organizational unit. For example, I say purchase organization for 1909 or S4 Hana. Account assignment I don't require. I go to org data. When I go to org data, you will see there is a particular field where an internal number is generated. See this one. This number generated by the system. So this is the data which you will see in your different TM document. So I just click on create.
And the basic data which we have, sorry to interrupt, the basic data which we are creating, is that the nomenclature we are following, or is that
just
something?
nomenclature? I just want to, you have to fill up something there, or else it will not allow you to move. Okay, you can give any form.
Okay.
So I give purchase organization, purchasing group, then planning, execution, organization, planning, execution group, sales office, or sales organization, sales office, sales group. Okay, so if I have to create a purchase organization, I need to select the function as purchasing, and then I select the role as organization. So that means it's called as purchase organization. Okay. This is a business system group. I'll tell you what does this mean. This is business system group is mainly used for replicating the master data across multiple clients, because we have a single client where both TM and ECC is embedded. So in that case, we can use a single business system group which is centralized. Okay. So this is done by basis. I'll show you where we configure this business system group also. And this is the organizational unit which you can link. That means if you want to link a specific ECC organizational unit, you can link it here, BSG org unit. Okay. If I give any organ unit, maybe it will say it is already assigned. See, it's already assigned, it will say that. So what I will do, I'll just click this, I'll remove it. And when I press enter, it will also tell me charges profile ID. Charges profile ID is mainly used for charge calculation. That means the shipment cost calculation. As of now, we don't have any charge profile ID because I have not created it, so we'll keep it blank. Okay. And then I go to address, I maintain some organizational unit, the address, the city, the country, everything. Okay. And I click on save. So this is my organizational unit, which is my purchase organizational unit. Okay.
So
Now,
within
yeah,
one,
yeah, I tell you.
yeah, while we are actually maintaining this organizational data, the number which it has actually picked up in organizational ID. So there are certain number ranges which would be associated with that particular organizational ID,
Yes.
right? So
So that
those are something which has been created from SPRO part, or do we require to SPRO and create that? So that is what.
no, you don't have to do anything here. The reason is when you are creating, because all these numbers are copied from the client, right? Like from 000. So when you get the best practice client, it will always be there. Okay.
Mhm.
So
Okay,
okay. So
SCP
that
department.
number range, yeah. And in case the number range you want to change, you can always get the number range from. The HR guy will create the number range. You should not touch this number range object for this.
Okay. Okay. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Just one clarification. Business org unit. Let's say I have a purchase organization 1000 in ECC. So that is the place where I will put this
Yes.
1000,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Very clear. Yeah.
The next part, what you have is purchasing group. See, if you recollect in ECC, purchasing group is not part of any configuration under SPRO node, right? So if you recollect here,
Yes.
SPRO, you go here, you go to this material management, you go to purchasing, and here you will find purchasing group. Okay, so it's not part of enterprise structure, but for TM, always note, if you want to create a purchasing group, try to link it with your purchase organization, because one purchase organization, maybe you have a centralized purchase organization, but if you are planning or paying the carrier for 4 different zones, north, south, east, west, then try to create 4 different groups, or maybe one group who is responsible for monitoring the procurement process. But in TM, a purchasing group is always under a purchase organization. Okay. So for example, I will do it for PG1. So how do I show it here? Okay. So how do I show it? Okay, let me first of all, I did not maintain this particular BSG org unit here. So the BSG, if I go back, I'll take any ECC organizational unit. I go to enterprise structure. I go to definition. I go to material management. I go to purchasing organization. Suppose I'm linking it with 009 or something. Let's see if you have any other. Okay, KK01 or 002. Let's see if it is there. Okay. Now, as I told you, I need to create a purchasing group now, but it is to be linked in purchase organization. So my purchase organization is my father and my child is my purchasing group, right? So what I will do, I'll click on this, create. I'll select this and I will click on this. So it will ask me whether the organization unit is a line supervisor of something. So that means, yes, I say click on this. And when I click on this, you'll see a hierarchy. See, there's a hierarchy. Okay. So here I give again a dummy purchasing group name. I click on organizational data. This is my number. I give this number here. And here is 280, right? Now, how do I differentiate? I again go to function. I select here purchasing, and instead of organization, I'll select here group. Okay. BSG1. See, if you see here, there is no concept of charge profile ID for purchasing group because it's only purchase organization which is responsible for doing the charge calculation. So you don't find your charge profile ID, what you find in group organization, right? And here you give a number for ECC. Go to address. Okay, clear? Any question
So
you have?
yeah, the fields like business partner, and I mean, if you go to organization data, yeah, the fields for business partner or something which we need to configure, or is it that's not
No, it's automatic. It's automatic. It will be automatically generated. The reason is, like why business partner is generated here, because if you try to analyze, your purchase organization is also part of the entire. It's type of a business partner who is responsible for monitoring your entire procurement process, right? So he's a type of your business partner here. So that's why this number gets generated automatically by the system.
okay?
You don't have to do anything. I have not done anything here.
Okay.
Okay. So now your purchase organization and purchasing group is ready. The next part, what we will do is here, this one, planning and execution org and planning and execution. Okay. So if you want to do that, suppose in case you want to change anything, you have to go to PPOME for changing. Okay. If you want to go to PPOME, and if you go to search term, you can either get a start and get all the list. Okay. Or you can put your own data and just try to find out. Okay. If you want to change anything here, like for the address, you want to add something, add it. You can also add email address, communication. So this address tab is same what you see normally in your customer master, vendor master. All the information you can find out if you just expand this. Okay. So now if I go to PPOME now, now to create my planning execution org, I go to PPOCE again. If I now go to, like, for example, I need to select something for this one. I go to planning execution org, planning org. I go to org data. I click on continue, planning execution org. I go to BSG1. See, here you don't need to give any value here because you don't have any reference ECC, right? Because there is no entity called as planning execution organization in ECC, correct? So you can keep this blank. And you can give any address.
And what's the importance of BSG1?
Which one?
BSG1 in org data, the business system group.
The business system, as I told you, it is used for the replication of data. So basically, in a standalone, for example, this concept has come from there, where you have your shipping point, customer, vendor in ECC, and then you want to replicate the same information to TM in the form of location, right? As I told you, your ship to party is your customer location, destination location, and your shipping point is your source location. So there is always a reference or linkage through the business system group, like which data information is passed from ECC to TM. So that
Oh,
reference linkage is the business system group. And also keep in mind, in case in one of the project I've seen that, like they used to maintain order and management in one TM client and execution in the another TM client. So that means you've got two different TM clients. So it is the business system group which used to have an RFC connection to two different logical systems. So that means they are acting as a repository for collecting all information across multiple systems. Okay.
okay. Okay.
So now this is my planning execution organization done. I can keep it here. Okay, it's done. And now I have to create a planning execution group, right? So again, you follow the same process. Click on create, line supervisor. So here you have to say planning execution group. This is the number. Put it there. Okay. And then you click on create planning execution group. Okay. Do no need of this BSG org unit. Go to address. And then click on save. Okay. So your planning execution org and planning execution group is also ready.
Well, we can give any country, right? Or is it
Huh?
only we can give any city and any country, right? Or
Yeah, that depends upon you. Like for which, as I told you, this data is not mandatory also. It will
okay,
not going to stop any of your operations. But I just show you that in case you want to have a specific organizational unit, you can do it.
okay.
And finally, from the LSP perspective, we require sales org, right? So you go to PPOME. So go to basic data. Oh, sorry, PPOCE. So I give you the organizational unit name. I write here sales org.
Virendra, one small request.
Yeah.
There's it's been shown like Virendra SAP trainer is presenting. So okay,
Sorry.
this Virendra SAP trainer is presenting is something which the text is actually appearing on the keyboard bar and all. So can
Now it is gone, I believe.
okay, now it's gone. Right.
Okay. So you click on this, maintain this. I think this is quite easy. I don't think it's too much of organizational unit is always a easy thing. So I go to sales and here it should be organization. Okay. Give something and then you have to check what is the ECC sales of. So you can directly go back. In the definition part, you go to sales organization. So I give, for example, 1001. Okay. You can give some charts profile and all. As of now, keep it blank because we have not done anything. Okay. And then you click on save. Okay. Clear? So now under one sales organization, what is the next part we have?
Sales office.
Sales office and sales group. So same process. Just select this, click this. Sales office. I go to org data. Sales office. And then you go to address.
So Virendra, for sales office,
Tell me.
uh, so sales office we don't need to link it with ECC.
No, this is only for LSP scenario. In case later on when we'll be doing an LSP scenario, you can use this. Okay.
Okay.
And then under sales office, you can create multiple sales office. Again, if you want to create one more sales office, just click this and you click this. And finally, under sales office, you have the sales group. Okay. So we'll have the same number. 285, it will be 286. So I go here. Sales organizations or sales group. Sales group. Yeah, it's already there. I just copy pasted from there before only. 286 and just click on this. Sales. Okay. So your sales office, sales group, your entire organizational structure is ready. Now these are did through transaction. If you want to go through, if you want to transport it, then what you have to do? Go to SAP reference, go to transport management, go to master data, organizational management, organizational model, and create means PPOME, change means PPO, PPOCE, create, and change means PPOME, same thing. So either you can do it through configuration or you can do it through transaction. Okay.
Yeah, Virendra, just one last thing.
Yeah.
I see there is no transport created. Transport
No,
request, customizing request.
no, because I did not go through SPRO, right? I directly went through this end user
Okay.
transaction.
Okay, so if you go to SPRO, there will be a customizing request,
Yes,
which we can
yes,
use
yes,
to then transfer between systems,
yes.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the table where all the entries you can find. Because my object type, O type, is organizational unit, so you have to type here O. And then if you click here, these are all the organizational units which you have created. Okay. I hope it's clear, right?
Yes.
Yes, Viren.
Mhm. And one more thing, what I need to tell you, if you go to this transaction, so this is the transaction actually which basically see from the internal number range this is using. So the HR guys generally maintain the number range from here. Okay.
It's OONR, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
ONR.
Mhm.
Now, how do we know if this organizational unit is existing or not? So I will do some regression testing. So for example, I will check if this organizational unit is coming in my transaction data, correct? So what I will do, I will go to NWBC. Now in my order management part, the first object which is created in TM is freight unit. Okay. So if I go to planning, and if I go to, for example, any existing freight unit, because freight unit cannot be created manually, right? So if you go to general data, this is my freight unit. This is the first object which gets created when you are transferring your delivery to TM. Okay. So if you see there is an organizational data section. Now I will check if the organizational data which I have created is existing or not. So for example, I have this purchase organization, right? So how do I check? I go in the drop down and I go to search criteria and I will just tell them, okay, organizational unit ID, this one. I click on search. See, my organizational ID is there. So that means what I've created is correct. Similarly, I want to check for purchasing group. See, because my purchase organization was having a one-to-one assignment with purchasing group, so automatically my purchasing group came here, 241, right? Similarly, if I go to planning execution org, I go here, I show such criteria, I go here, okay. Similarly, I go to planning execution group, again to it because it came from the assignment. So 2483, 2483. So this is you have seen in your this organizational structure you see in your freight unit first place. However, in freight unit this is not mandatory, okay? But if you go into my shipment document now, which is my freight order, if you go here, I open any one freight order. If you see here, so if you see there is also an entry for purchase organization letter. So this is another place where you need to enter the organization letter. But here purchase organization and purchasing group is mandatory. Planning execution or planning execution group is not mandatory, but these two are mandatory because it will help in your ultimately settlement process. Okay. So this is another place where you can use the organizational data. So one is in your freight unit, second is in your freight order. The third, if you go to my settlement process, so if I go to settlement, forwarding settlement or freight settlement, so you go to display freight settlement. If I go here, and if you see in the organizational data, you have purchase organization and purchasing. Okay. So across the supply chain, if you see, this is the two most mandatory data. And now I'll just see for the sales organizational unit, I will go to forwarding order. Forwarding order is the first object which is created when you are for an LSP. For that, you don't need any ECC. So if I create any forwarding order, suppose I enter, so here if you see there is a sales organization, sales office, sales group. So what is my sales organization? Is this one. I go to show such criteria, and if I go here, this is my organizational ID. See, if I just put on one, rest all three came because this is part of the assignment, right? Clear? Any question on the organizational unit?
Yeah, wherein one thing, what is the highest organizational unit in PD?
Highest organizational unit, there is no highest organizational concept here. It depends on what type of transaction you are processing. So for purchasing, it's purchase out. For planning, it's planning out. And for sales, it's sales.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, correct. Because it's tightly integrated with MM and SD, right? It will not
Yes.
have highest organization unit as well, right? As such, right?
Yes. Yes. So this is your part of your this one. Another thing, what you can see if you go into freight agreement management, this is another place where you can find the purchase organization. If you go to create freight agreement, so I'll just show you where are the implication of your organizational unit. Sorry. Go to agreement type. So if you see, this is a contract, how you create a contract for payment to your carrier, right? If you go to general data, from general data, then you need to go into this purchase organization. This is a mandatory field. Okay. So these are the different implication of your purchasing process, purchasing or sales throughout the entire transportation industry. Okay. So now once we complete this with the so the next part what we'll cover is basically your master data. Okay. So we start. Can we? Okay, shall I start with one master data today, or we want to start from tomorrow?
Let's start from tomorrow.
Okay.
It's
Okay
fine.
then.
So, I mean, that's my view. When if we can start, I just want to know others, like if they are okay to go ahead with tomorrow, that's fine.
Yeah, I'm
So
fine.
these are the master data. What transportation then transportation lane, then schedule, then it's your resource. Okay, then you have means of transport and mode of transport, and then we can also have a default route. I'll just give a logic explanation. What is a location? So location means always note where the pickup occurs and where the delivery occurs, right? As I told you, in SAP TM, my shipping point is your source location, and my ship to party in sales order is my destination location. Because TM cannot work without location. Okay? They need a location to identify from where the goods movement will happen. So in any of the document, what you see, suppose if I open any freight unit, for example, if I go to planning, and if I go to, for example, go to freight unit, this is my freight unit. I open any one freight unit. So if you see, there is always a location thing associated, source location and destination location. That every, whether it's a freight unit or freight order, everywhere, whatever document you work, transaction document, always you need to have a location, because location will identify from where the pickup and the delivery will happen. Okay, so location can either be created automatically via report, that is one thing, or location can also be created manually. Okay, in case like as I told you, as of now here you find two location, right? One is your source location, one destination. But what will happen in case you are going through intermediate points? Intermediate points means, for example, from shipping point it goes to a port. You have a source port. From source port you will have a destination port, and from destination port you will have the final ship to party, right? So this is what the scenario is, correct? What we discussed last time.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, not this one. Yeah, if you see this particular point, so there will be, can you tell me how many locations we'll have here?
1, 2, 3, 3 locations.
No,
4
4
locations.
locations.
4
This is
locations.
your pickup point. From pickup point, this will be the point where the consolidation will happen. That means you come here. Maybe if the shipper or if the carrier is picking up from multiple shipper, right? So this is the place where you will consolidate. From there, there will be another point in the destination area where the ship will take the product from here to here. And finally, this is the customer location. So if you see here, this is 1, 2, 3, 4. So it will be 4 locations which will create. Now from my ECC part, my shipper location is my source and my destination is my consignment. That's okay. But we also need to create these 2 ports, right? These ports will not come from ECC. This you have to create it manually. So we'll see tomorrow how we can create these locations, and also what are the important elements that in terms of field and also configurations that is relevant for completing the location setup. Again, just few things here. Whenever, if you see, this is a multi-mode structure, right? Because this is my stage 1, that means moving pickup to my port. This is my stage 1, which we also call as a pre-carriage. This is my stage 2, which is called as a main carriage, because the maximum distance is covered by the ship between these 2 locations. And third is the on carriage or delivery, which is done by another truck. So that is my stage 3. So that means if you see here, there are 3 stages. There will be 2 freight orders. One freight order means one shipment from Cologne to Bremen, another shipment from New York to Chicago, right? And freight booking from this port to this port. So that's why it is called a multimodal. Multimodal means there is a point of load. Multimodal means these are called as a point of loading or unloading or transshipment point, because this is a place where goods are loaded and unloaded and the mode of transportation changes. That is what we call as a transshipment point. So in the entire structure, we need to create total 2 transshipment points and 1 shipper location and another destination location. So we'll see that tomorrow how we will do it.
Okay.
Okay.
So one thing. So we have this 4. What we call. We have the 4 stages, right? So out of those 4 stages, we have
3
2
stages.
free.
3 stages, not 4 stages. First stage
Yeah,
is
3.
from colo to this, second stage, third stage.
Okay, so for 3 stages, we will be creating 1 freight order. I mean, 2 freight orders, right?
Yeah. So for the first and third stage, we'll create 2 different freight orders, and for the middle stage, we'll create 1 freight booking.
Okay, okay, okay.
Okay.
So freight order is created when the mode of transportation changes. Can that be understood in that way?
Yeah. So the difference between freight order and freight booking is in the mode of transport. If the mode of transport is road, rail, etc., we call it as a freight order in SAP terminology sense. And if we are using ocean or air, we call it as a freight booking. So for freight booking, we need a port or an airport. For a freight order, we don't need any port or airport.
Okay.
So also, do we create any legs in between?
Yes, legs means it's a route. Legs means it's type of a route for us.
Okay.
So I'll show you. It's a type of a master data, but it's not mandatory. Okay. Because route is nothing but it's a sequence of location for TM. So if you are building up your location, it should be okay. But yes, there's an impact of route on your TM.
Mhm. Okay.
Okay. So slowly you'll understand what you'll get.
Sure, sure.
Okay. Okay then. So tomorrow we'll start with location.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Bye.
Thanks, Viren. Bye.
Bye.